Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick and mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I am passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you were meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go. And you probably have had experience, especially in 12 years, where, Matt and I are 5.5 years in brick and mortar business, and we've certainly had many lessons.
Absolutely.
We love a good lesson.
Many lessons, and some of them we've repeated multiple times. I'm like, why do we keep repeating
why did we figure out the first
this
time?
one lesson? I'm like, gosh, I should have just trusted my gut on this one, but I didn't. Damn.
But they were so necessary.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that comes from even just kind of going back to personal development. I think when you have that awareness, you have that mindset, that is something that we are constantly working on. And I say we collectively for the three of us, because we're very aligned that way, that, we put in this work, and then when things do happen that are less than ideal in the business, that you can look at it from the lens of a lesson.
Right.
Yes.
And not just, have a temper tantrum. Maybe you have a temper tantrum for 5 to 15 minutes, and then you got to move on and be like, okay, we got to be solution oriented. What are we learning from this, and how can we take action on it?
Absolutely.
And I think that's life as well as business.
Totally, because it can be very easy to just get stuck into that rut and just mad, and you're frustrated. You're like, I don't even want to do this business anymore. This sucks.
I hate everything.
This is
Why
terrible.
am I an entrepreneur?
Exactly.
Sometimes I tell them, I'm like, I'm actually going to retire. I think I'm going to send you my notice.
Yeah.
I'm done. I only have it a couple of times in 5.5 years. But
I love it. That's
it makes
great.
you feel better.
Yeah, it's
But
good.
the triggers are the things that we need to pay attention to. So they can be triggers from the business, or triggers from people.
Yeah.
So what's triggering you? Because it's just mirroring what you got to work on.
Yeah.
Right.
So true.
So when I don't have patience with something, or it's a certain individual, or certain maybe a staff member from the past or something, because it's definitely not the present. We have great staff. And you get kind of triggered with that, or relationships, then even personal.
What's the why behind it?
The why behind it, right? And so that's your cue, my cue, Erinn's cue to go, oh, so what do I need to work on? Because it's triggering something in me, so obviously it's reflecting a part of me. They're reflecting that I've got it within myself. Yeah. Oh, got it. Okay.
Noted.
So, Noted. Yeah.
I actually would love to go down the path of leadership. And, maybe this is more of a question for Erinn, if this is something that you're more in right now in the business. It's something that I'm leading into more, because we now have a larger team at Benchmark. There's 6 of us in total, but that's the biggest we've ever been.
It's amazing.
And we also have an amazing team. And it's something that I feel that I'm really being drawn to from a content standpoint. I'm loving a Layla Hormozi. Tell me.
Love
Layla Hormozi.
Love
Layla Hormozi. Both of them. Alex Hormozi.
Yeah, they're great.
His experience building gyms,
Yes.
which I have totally extracted action plans from.
Yeah.
But now Layla about managing a team and the operations.
Yes.
So talk me through what do you really lean into, and if it is, we can gush on Layla Hormozi.
Go for it. That's Erinn's favorite.
Honestly, Layla Hormozi, I love her so much. That'd be a dream to meet Layla and to meet Alex. That would be absolutely incredible. I am constantly watching her YouTube videos, listening to her podcasts, all that kind of stuff. She comes from such a beautiful, heart-centered approach. And what I love about what she she talks about her leadership a lot, being praise over punishment, and that it totally aligns with everything that I believe as well too, because in business, we're going to have a staff member screw up a batch of cupcakes, or maybe mess up talking to a customer in a certain way, whatever. But instead of getting upset with them, you could say, okay, I see that you did it like this. Okay, next time, I'd love for you to try it like this. As opposed to being like, oh my gosh, what did you just do? You're fired, get out of here. And being in a very negative space in that way. But I love the approach that she takes. And to me, I would say I come from a very heart-centered place, and very much, praise over punishment.
I like
for
that.
sure.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Kelly, you being down to that?
Oh, wow. Layla is, or do you want me to talk about the praise over punishment?
Both.
So there's a reason why I'm not looking after staff.
That's so authentic of you.
Kelly doesn't have the same patience level that I do.
Yeah, and
to me,
that's, if you know that that's an Erin strength,
Yes.
and it's not a Kelly strength, well,
Yes.
then that's great in the
Yes,
business.
it just doesn't. It doesn't fortify me. It doesn't like excite me. It actually drains me. But I am there to watch the celebration and be a part of the celebration, to celebrate them, and celebrate Erinn, to be almost like a cheerleader for everybody. But to be a part of the day in, day out, and even the stuff that Layla talks about, it's like it's so foreign for me, because I just know that that's not where I excel at all in a group environment.
You're more of just like that visionary, creative
I'm
energy.
I'm that loner.
But you need space for that.
I do.
I'm
I am.
really realizing right now, because Matt and I are excited to dive into an expansion season as well. And I'm recognizing I'm very passionate about doing a lot of things.
Yes.
Having very full days.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing just in the most recent days and weeks that I'm gonna need to create some space to get to that higher vision. So it sounds like for some people listening, they might be like, I'm sorry, you like what? How do you spend your days?
Yeah.
But you need that.
Absolutely.
To have the
Totally.
capacity and the space to create that big vision, especially if that is your zone of genius.
Yeah.
And I guess too, sorry,
It's okay. Go
I
ahead.
was doing the recipes. Those are the things that,
Yes.
the Mile High brownies, the red velvet cupcakes, everything. And really everything came from almost the Kind Food days. We haven't changed much of it really at all. And those were times of me going into the business, into Kind Food at 3 or 4 in the morning and cranking on Metallica and and
Nothing like making a cupcake with some Metallica.
oh yeah. And that's how most of the recipes came. Even I dreamt them. So the Mile High brownie was a brownie that we couldn't nail. We couldn't figure out. It was missing stuff. And
What was missing that you dreamt about? And that
but
you
if I
had?
told you, I'd have to kill you.
Okay, so don't do that. We still have too much juicy conversation to have, so that's not productive at
Secret
all.
ingredient.
Well, maybe a good opportunity to chat about the cookbook.
Yes.
Because that's been an exciting launch
Yeah,
to kind of
totally.
contribute to the excitement of 2024.
Absolutely. So we now have 2 beautiful cookbooks. So we have Made with Love. That was a national best-selling cookbook. We published that way back in 2016.
I have an autographed copy.
So great. And then we also have our second cookbook called Conscious Living, and that just came out this past October. So excited about it. People
Labor
are
of love.
oh my gosh,
Total
such
labor
a
of
beautiful labor of that's a whole other
And
conversation.
resiliency.
6 years.
Total labor of love and
resiliency.
Yes.
Rising from the adversity.
Yeah.
How did you celebrate that? When the cookbook, when you got your first printed copy, I'm assuming maybe you get a first draft to see okay, now let's make 9,000 of these and then 40,000 or whatever the process is. How did you celebrate that first experience, looking and feeling the Conscious Living cookbook?
Again, I feel like it was so surreal when that moment finally came, because it had been such a labor of love that we were just kind of in shock. I mean, obviously tears were shed. It was a very emotional moment for us, for sure. And just really sitting in that place of gratitude and that place of just accomplishment, holy crap, we did this, we pushed through all of this stuff, all these years of adversity and, just the recipes and the photos and this and that, and making it just be the most beautifully authentic book for ourselves, and just sitting in that place of gratitude, I think, was the biggest moment for us.
Do you want me to add to that?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
I think that it was the biggest moment of, am I allowed to say, flipping the bird?
Yeah.
To our publisher that canceled us.
Yeah.
So-
And maybe I mean, we were chatting about this before.
It was beautiful.
That we have so many high vibe things to chat about, but I feel like even just for context, and Erinn, I know you and I spoke about this on our episode together.
Yeah.
But that was in a season of a lot of challenge for both of you personally, but of course, the brand and the business. And it was sort of a lineup of a few things that were really shitty.
Absolutely.
And how the publishing house was part of that.
Yeah.
And so if you want to sort of mention that just for context for everyone listening.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it was back in the early 2020 days, and we were very vocal about the impact of these COVID lockdowns and stuff on small businesses, and just how detrimental it had been to businesses like Benchmark, like Kelly's Bake Shop. And we were like, what are we doing? We're watching our entire life crumble before our eyes here. This isn't making sense to us. Anyways, some people took offense to that, and this like small group with very loud voices decided it was going to be in their best interest to try to cancel us. And
because everyone was staying home, they had so much time on their hands.
Right, absolutely, and getting some free money and stuff like that too. They didn't need to work. It was great.
Yeah.
It was a time of great divide.
Great divide. It was hard.
Does it feel so victorious now to be on the other side?
Oh my gosh.
Getting that first cookbook.
So getting the first cookbook, expanding into Oakville,
Yeah.
like all of it, like just rising up. Like 2024 was the year for all the seeds that we've planted over the last 4 years. Now they were planted, so now they're starting to sprout, and we get to almost reclaim a part of our soul that was taken.
Yeah.
It was. PTSD is probably an understatement of what we went through,
It's pretty bad.
For the canceling of it all. And, public humiliation, being shamed, and it was ridiculous. And looking back at it, I don't know if we would have handled it any differently. And we're just grateful for a lot of people that came into our life to help resurrect us, from a PR team and a crisis communication team, donated their time to help resurrect us again.
But yes, and then
so
coming
it's-
now on the other
On the
side.
side,
though.
it's like
Yeah.
it's an amazing feeling, and you don't realize though how low you went until you start climbing that side of that mountain again to make it to the top. Like you don't realize how dark down you went until you start to climb up, right?
And hopefully, those are experiences where you're only there like maybe once
Yes.
in your life.
Yes.
And I always say this because
I hope nobody gets experience.
Yeah, I know.
well, no,
literally.
it's not something that you
Yeah,
wish
yeah,
on people.
yeah,
but,
yeah.
And you could say that whether it is like I always say when I lost my dad in the middle of like foreclosures,
Yeah.
that was my rock bottom.
Yeah.
I'd never really experienced that before. I'm very open how I lost my brother, but I was 18, going to a new city, university, like I had other things to focus on. And my dad and I had such a special bond. Big lover of Kelly's Bake Shop. Big lover, especially the blueberry muffins and your coffee.
Oh.
And he's actually the last thing I took to him in the hospital. So but I want to keep this high vibe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was something. It was a download I had at an earlier point in the
Yeah.
conversation of like, oh my gosh, that was the last thing I took to him. Was
God.
Kelly's coffee that he was so excited to receive in the hospital.
That's beautiful.
So just kind of going back to the love brand, because he didn't live in Ontario for very long, so it was always on his list when he would come visit.
Now I'm gonna cry.
I know.
Yeah, high vibe. Yeah. But talking about how we have these shitty moments in life, and that was my rock bottom. And I eventually, I think all of us have done an excellent job of this, of going through these challenging moments where you can eventually recognize in the moment, okay, this is really bad, but this is like the lowest I'm going to be, and I have the power to claw my way out of this. And there is only one direction to go, and that's up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look at the direction that both of you and Kelly's are going. Like, you're going to blow the roof off of this studio with all of the exciting expansion that you're experiencing. And, opening Oakville, the cookbook 2, maybe there's a cookbook 3, or a personal book, a memoir. I feel like Kelly should write a memoir.
I'm like, we're both pointing, Kelly.
Yeah,
That's definitely.
Funny you say that. I'm in the process of it right now.
Yeah.
You are? Is something we can talk about?
Sure.
wanna talk about it?
Yeah.
So I've been asked to be a co-author in the Savouring book series, which is pretty remarkable, and basically talking about just the power of us being sovereign souls, and it's going to be released in the spring.
Amazing.
And so from that, though, there weren't enough pages for me to write in this, being a co-author in this book. So I'm going to be writing, I'm going to say my own book, but obviously with Erinn interspersed with it. But it's going to be all about like just reflecting on like finding ourselves, like finding our true self. So it's sure dark stuff and dark shit can happen to us, right? But
it's what you do with it.
It's what you do. It's your perception of it too. It's like, was it that dark? Like, were those people really in the wrong that canceled us, that maybe if I were them, I would have canceled us too? Like, it was their perception of the world. How can we, release this? And so it's forgiveness is so big, forgiving it all. Like, all my relationships, all the people that I feel have wronged me, all the, people that have canceled us, whatever, but you have to embrace that darkness, because it's still who we are still as well. Like, I'm not perfect, and I'm not this godly, bright love and light you know, girl. Like I'm not.
We're all just
you know,
humans.
we are all just humans having these
mistakes.
beautiful, having these experiences, and what we do with it is what's the important thing. My goal now is serving. How can I serve for the rest of my life? It's just how can I serve, and just, you know, just be that soul that is just serving the world with whatever gift I've been given. It's my inherent obligation to give it back, right? So like this is my duty now, and I'm just so thrilled with my life. Like I'm just so happy and thrilled with where I am, and I actually am grateful that we got canceled.
Yep.
And that's when you get to the other side of it. Going, thank you so much for showing us where we really needed to work, what we had to work on.
What a powerful perception.
It's massive.
And opportunity to get to that.
And so that's going to be the book.
That's the title?
Yeah.
Well-
It's going to be, well,
Do you want to say it?
well, we've trademarked it.
Yeah.
So
So go for it.
you can't cancel love.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
mic drop again. I love that so much. I'm so excited for the launch.
So excited.
The book
It's
hasn't even
so
been
good.
written yet.
I can't wait. I am
Allie is
ready.
there.
Yeah.
I am ready to celebrate, and I think that's even something that I've really leaned into myself coming out of those like challenging years. And hey, we're business owners. We'll still have challenging times,
of course.
challenging years, but really celebrating those wins, big and small. And that's something that Matt and I work on even every month. Like we set goals for every month, and then I love wine, I love champagne, so typically I'll buy something for the month. I mean, we have big goals, and that has a much larger celebration that I can feel like bubbling, and I can't wait to check that off of the list. And I think that's something that we can so easily forget is celebrating things. But you've trademarked your book name. Like, how did you celebrate that?
Or did you?
Well, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming.
So I know.
Yeah, we're here to celebrate.
So-
We have to celebrate.
It's time. Yeah. Maybe we'll go up in Collingwood and
Yeah,
do
you
it
can
up
show
there.
me around.
Yeah.
Go for a cold
Yeah.
plunge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
some
Sauna.
Sauna.
Yeah, love it.
And pop something fun.
Yeah, love
I
it.
love that. What are you both most excited about right now?
I am so excited for Oakville. That is like the only thing, it's occupying 99.9% of my brain and my mental capacity right now. And I am just,
She's living her best life.
I am so excited. Although, you know, there's insane moments of stress and chaos and all that stuff, but I am so excited to be able to serve another community and to be able to change people's lives, because that is really what our business is. And that's really what it has represented for over a decade. So I'm so excited for that.
Are you living your dream right now?
Yes. Yes. It doesn't always feel like that,
Yep.
but yes.
For the most
For
part.
the most part.
Yeah. There are some days where there's like a cloud in the dream.
Yeah.
I'm
totally.
loving as a mother
Yeah.
seeing that for my daughter.
That's gotta
And
be
then-
such a surreal
And then as a
feeling
business
well.
partner, loving being a partner with you.
Yeah.
But as a mom, now I want to wear the mom hat. Like I'm just so happy for this for my daughter. And I got to say that like I'm living my best life. I'm up north most of the time. Like, you know, that's where I mean, Erinn lives up north too. We all live up there, but and we commute down. But to have that space up there on, like, I've got 3 acres and I've got a little art studio and I've got my healing studio and, you know, I've got like my 2 cats and my fun kitchen that I do recipe creation in and stuff. And like, I'm just going like, what more do I want?
Just happy.
Peace and quiet. It's beautiful, you know. Like I'm in this stage in my life that I love being alone. Like I really embrace it a lot. Like I love my own closet. I love my own kitchen. I love my own refrigerator.
Not sharing it with anyone.
I love my own
exactly
bathroom.
how you left it.
It's a beautiful thing, but you know, I was listening to Joe Dispenza just the other day, and he was talking about the power of aloneness and how your thoughts are your own. Like you dream, you create, you become so much more with your aloneness. Now, you guys are 2 married women.
But no, I definitely value my
I don't
own
want to talk
time.
you into it.
Oh yeah.
I
But
just recently
it's
said that to Matt,
beautiful.
how I think kind of going back to the idea of like visionary and space. And I had said to him how like I think I might need to welcome in a little bit of alone time.
Yeah.
But you know, saying this with so much love because we're pretty obsessed with each other and we spend a lot of time
beautiful.
together. But I grew up as an only child, so I'm very comfortable. Yeah, we connect on that.
Very much.
Very comfortable with my own company.
Yeah.
Like I've not really done a solo trip, but I'm sure I could.
Yeah.
I actually used to do a lot of work travel before entrepreneurship. And I loved going down to the lobby bar, just getting a glass of wine and maybe working on my laptop or maybe just reading a book.
Yeah.
And I had no problem being the person sitting alone by yourself at the bar.
Amazing.
It was a happy, peaceful clam.
And a lot of people are not like that, right? But those are the times that you don't have to worry about anyone else's feelings or their schedules and everything.
It's really important, like to have that like self-love.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a term that's thrown out really frequently and loosely on social media as self-love club, But what does self-love mean?
Yeah.
And having alone time and being the power of your own thoughts and feelings, I think is a really beautiful place to be if you create the space for that.
Totally.
Absolutely.
I love that.
What are you guys both reading right now?
Oh, what am I reading right now? I'm listening. I'm listening to a lot of Layla Hormozi, but I'm also reading 10X is Easier Than 2X.
Oh, yes, that's on my list.
Dan Sullivan.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, his name. Yes. And also, and also Buy Back Your Time, Dan Martell too. Both of those books. I think I've like read them both like 2 or 3 times, and they're just great. Like I just get like little snippets of this little bit here, and I love it. It's very like operational mindset, so it's very much up my alley.
Buy Back Your Time.
Yeah, amazing.
That's a great book.
Yeah.
Kelly, what about you?
Do you really want to know the books I'm reading?
Probably not. Probably not.
Spicy tea?
I do have that one on speed dial, that one.
Dan Martell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but I just picked up again, it's about 2 weeks ago, The Creature from Jekyll Island.
Okay.
And I know it's kind of different, it's out there, but it was the creation of the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
And so it's more of a learning about the globalist world, as I
Very
say.
expansive.
So we don't want to go too deep down there because you guys are going to think I'm totally
that was not
freaky.
in my Audible library.
So it probably is not. But
Kelly
it's how it got
goes
created.
deep.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh yeah.
Deep, not lowering deep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And okay, well, I always love asking this question for entrepreneurs, high achieving entrepreneurs, because it's just something that I'm fascinated by. I want you to walk me through your morning routines.
Okay. I'm up at 5, like no later than 5 for sure. I get up, meditate, work out, do some yoga, some stretching, that kind of thing. Then I usually honestly sit down at my computer because I find I'm the most creative and the most dialed into my work first thing in the morning from around like 6 to 9. That's like my ideal power hour, 100%. And then after that, take our big dog out for a nice big walk, usually out in the forest somewhere. Come back, have some breakfast, do my thing. But yeah, that's my time.
And that 6 to 9, are you having a coffee? Are you having a matcha?
Matcha.
With what kind of milk?
Pistachio milk.
I love matcha pistachio combo.
that is my jam. It's so good. So good. It doesn't have any of those like extra added fillers and stuff like that in it too, so it's very clean. It's good.
Super sidebar question, not relevant to the podcast. Do you have pistachio milk at the bake shop?
No, we don't because we're nut free.
We're nut free.
Right.
I know. So it's at home.
We would love it.
Yes, we're like, dialed in.
Allergen free.
I know, we would love to do pistachio
Yeah, it would be
milk,
great, but we can't with all the allergens, etc.
Very off-brand.
Yes, etc. Yes.
Kelly, walk me through your morning routine.
So I get up at around 5:30 to 6, a little bit later than Erinn, and I am into red light now, big time with that. So that's the first thing I do is put the mask on my face, and I sit with red light downstairs. I've got a fun little gym.
Is it in the healing studio?
Yeah.
So the healing, it's a really funky house.
It is a
so
cool house. You'll have to come see it.
Very eclectic. There's
very
not
cool.
really a lot of separate rooms, and it was a log house, and they built onto it with an ICF construction. It's just very, very different. But my healing part is in the loft on the log house part, and I have one of those EE systems, as scalar healing systems. And but anyway, so I go down to the basement though first, so the lower level, I guess you call it, because it's a walkout and everything. But it's I got my weights, and I do a lot of like strength training, and I do some jumping too. I have my tramp down there, and and then I go outside, and I try to get outside like really when the coyotes I know are sleeping. So because I am out there in the middle of the wilderness, and I do about maybe a half-hour walk, and just connecting to nature. I don't do lattes or really, I do like lemon water, and I do chlorophyll in my water too. I do those kind of clear things till about even 11. I don't drink coffee. I've actually given up wine and everything now too lately, and it's been a few months now of not drinking. but my matcha comes at around noon.
Okay.
So I eat in a very small window too. I find that food slows me down crazy, and I find that the older I get, I need to eat less. So a lot of high protein though, and I watch everything I eat. I'm very clean, like a one ingredient person is what I am most
Are
of
you
the time.
both still plant-based?
No.
For like, I mean, sometimes yes. I mean, I had some
funny you
like
asked
medical,
that, yeah.
I had some like medical stuff come up for myself, and like just after
both
talking
did.
to naturopath and doctors and all that kind of stuff, they were recommended just a little bit of that kind of being introduced into our diet. So yeah,
Eggs. Dairy,
Yeah.
but we try to do raw milk because we can do that up north too, and all the local farm fresh eggs and stuff like that too.
All that
So
good stuff.
we just find it's very clean, and so we have to have a beautiful, pure, clean life, and it's very natural. And yeah, that's kind of what I do. I haven't done podcasts lately or like listening to them. Even
This is going to be
books
this
and-
amazing show. It's called Inspiring Your Podcast. And there's like
Yeah,
episode,
yeah,
two-part
it's-
episode coming
yeah,
out
it's
soon.
coming
So
up.
you should cue that.
I can't get because anyway, just to add to that, I find that my brain has in the last 6 months or so become very cluttered with so much outside information, and it's just needed the stillness.
Yeah.
You know, it's like again, it's another season, right?
Stillness season.
And that's the beautiful part, that we're all moving at different parts in our life that this is really important to me now. I'm going to start listening to Inspired Move podcast because it's really resonating with me, and this is what I need to get. I need to get full of this stuff now, right? You know, and we're just being told this is what we're listening to right now. And when you go out into nature with that quietness, there's no 5G towers, there's nothing up there. You go,
it's very still.
All I am is hearing myself. Or who am I really hearing? You know, what voices are being downloaded for me to pay attention to, right?
I think that's a wonderful addition to almost like a wellness routine of having that time outdoors in such a beautiful space. And I mean, I know, Erinn, I see it on your social media, especially when there's snow up there and you're on the dog walks, and it's just such a different world than this downtown energy and space.
Very different.
So what a beautiful addition.
Yes, absolutely. It's so grounding. It's amazing.
Okay, we're closing out with one question
Oh
each.
gosh.
So Matt and I have adopted Kristen Lori Harder's Power 9.
Okay.
So it's typically how it works is 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things you're excited about, and 3 things that you're manifesting.
Ooh, Allie. Okay.
So I just want one of each. 1 thing that you're grateful for, 1 thing that you're excited about, Oakville, and 1 thing that you're manifesting. So you each have to do it.
You go first.
One thing I'm grateful for is her. Absolutely. Like without question. 1 thing I'm excited about, Oakville, obviously, that was natural. And then 1 thing I'm manifesting is another location in 2025.
Love that.
Yeah, let's do it. I wonder if Kelly's is going to be the same. Let's see what she comes up with.
You should have us in separate rooms to see what happens. Okay. It's okay. So what is it again? Sorry.
1 thing you're grateful for, 1 thing you're excited about, and 1 thing that you're manifesting.
Okay. So I'm absolutely so grateful for my life, like in its whole entirety. I like the whole sheer magnitude of it. Like I actually can feel it and see it when I zoom out to like 35,000 feet. Like that's what I'm grateful for. Like couldn't change anything for me. What's number 2?
Is that what you're excited about?
Squirrel?
Yeah,
It was like magnitude of gratitude for her life.
She gets so
yeah,
into
so that's
it.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. I already
I'm
answered the
grateful
question.
for your
there.
life.
What are you excited for?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Right now in this present moment, I'm excited for Oakville.
Okay, great.
Because hopefully it's going to be in 2 or 3 weeks' time.
And then what are you manifesting?
And what should I say?
What? I don't even know what you're saying.
What we talked about this morning is maybe going to Italy and finding a Fabio for me.
Oh, I'm manifesting that too. You should totally go to Italy. I'm coming.
Okay, let's go.
I love it. I love it.
Let's go find Fabio.
Yeah, let's go find Fabio. Oh my gosh.
Lord help me. Oh, it's so good.
Maybe that's where the Kelly's 2025 location is.
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
just efficient.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Italy?
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
be
great.
beautiful.
Done.
Great.
Wine and cupcakes.
Period on that one.
Yeah.
End of sentence.
Yeah.
Where can everyone find you?
Well, obviously at our beautiful location in downtown Burlington, and also soon to be location in downtown Oakville, kellysxo.com. You can find me at Erinn Weatherbie.
at Kelly Childs XO.
And then at Kelly's Bake is Kelly's Bake Shop Instagram.
I love it. We'll have everything linked in the show notes.
That's great.
From a website standpoint, can people shop online, order online?
Yes, and we're actually revamping our whole online platform in the coming couple of months as well too. So that's another massive project that we have underway. So yes, they can do all that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much, both of you, for taking time out of your full schedules and making the drive here to be in person together. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way, so I'm so grateful for both of you. I am excited for your journeys ahead between the Oakville location, the 2025 location, Kelly's book, and Fabio.
Fabio.
Fabio's the most
Let's
important.
cheers with cupcakes.
Are we cheersing
Cheers
with a
to
cupcake? Okay.
I have to do this one looks really
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers.
girls.
Yay.
Love you guys so much.
Love
Thank
you.
Love
so
you.
much
Thank you,
for-
Allie. Thank
Mwah.
you. Mwah.
Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you took 30 seconds and shared this on social media, send it to a friend, or leave a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I am so grateful to have you part of mine.